Hello, Trade Pros. Today we're doing an exciting interview with Etienne, owner and founder of DesireToTrade.com. Etienne's no stranger to Trade Pro Academy, and we interviewed recently on his podcast, and it was a blast. Today we flipped the script, and I get a chance to ask him a few questions about currency trading, Forex, and how he does it while he travels. He's currently in Bali, so let's catch up with him together. Let's get into this interview and ask him some tough questions. Etienne, I hope you're ready. It's your turn.
Etienne, welcome to our channel. How are you doing today?
Thanks, man. I'm doing great, and it's good to see that my life is super exciting like that. I didn't know, but it's great. I love that.
It's exciting, man. You're getting the chance to trade, travel, live the dream at the end of the day.
Definitely.
That's what we do it for, right?
I think it's my favorite part, so yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Awesome. Happy to have you on here. So I got a few questions to ask you. A lot of them came from some of our listeners. Some of it came in through as feedback. So I got a series of questions here. So how did you start in Forex? What was your journey into it?
That's pretty interesting. And I started about 4 years ago in the Forex market. That was like the first market I went into. Although I went in stock a little bit before, but without really knowing what to do. So I just like had this thought of opening an account at some point, and like Forex was the easiest way pretty much, because there's no barrier to entry. It's easy to go in. You can make, as they say, a lot of money. So I went into Forex like right away, opening an account. And then I realized, of course, it wasn't the easiest way, of course, like any trading. But I just like went around and tried this market, and then I kind of fell in love with it because of the fact that it's open 24 hours. You can be like in Asia or whatever, still trade at the same time. And that was pretty much like the way I did it. So I think I've been lucky to meet people over time to kind of guide me through the market, some other traders who were doing the same thing. And that's pretty much how it got started. But it wasn't easy for sure the first few years.
Yeah, so it sounds like an awesome journey, but it sounds like a typical, right? You start out, you get promised big things, you think it's going to be easy, and then you open the computer like, wow, this is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, pretty much. Looks like that.
Yeah, awesome. All good stuff. So I'm just curious, now that you're traveling and you're on the road, is there any updates you could share with us? What are you up to these days? And how's traveling and trading been for you?
Yeah, so it's kind of my second time that I travel and trade. The first time wasn't that successful. I've been traveling for about 2 months. And I realized how difficult trading and traveling could be. Like, it's not the same thing as home. I would be really, really good at home. I would be able to do everything. But once you get to like a new environment, a new place, you kind of forget a few things. And you kind of get destabilized. And I had like this kind of mindset of wanting to trade a little bit more, because I wanted to show people how possible it was to trade and travel. So my first experience wasn't that good. And then I tweaked a few things. That's like the power with doing it once, is you can find some lesson, tweak a few things, and come back after more powerful. So I came on this second trip, again in Asia, and I started to like change my strategy a little bit so I could really be more flexible. Instead of being at the chart like a few times per day, I'm now at the chart only once a day, which is like looking at the daily chart and then going from there. So it's kind of a good test of my patience, but it's definitely a better way to travel, better way to be able to travel, go around, do whatever you want to do, and keep trading as like a really part-time thing, which still make a lot of money. So.
Awesome. I think one of the things you mentioned there was gold, right? The first time around, you ran into some issues, but then you at least knew what the issues were for the next shot to improve on, right? So that's really good. What are some of the tips you would have for someone that's traveling and trading? I plan to ask this a little bit later on in the interview, but since we're in it now, I think it's a really good opportunity to give some tips to some of our listeners that would be interested to travel the journey, pack their bag, and trade while they're doing it.
Yeah, well, I found some things that are really, really powerful with trading and traveling, some like really big advantages. And one of them is the fact that you get to simplify pretty much everything you have. So you cannot like travel and have like 5 monitors. It's like impossible. So you have to really sit down and work on making it the most simple as possible. And that's probably the biggest thing. So you have to keep it simple. I wouldn't be able to travel with 2 monitors. For me, it's already too much. So the only thing I have now to trade is like a 13-inch MacBook Pro. And that's pretty much the only thing I use. So it's to keep it simple. And to make sure that you have like this routine in place, to make sure that you have this checklist that you go through, so that even if you're like in Bali or in China, whatever, you can still go through the same activities and not forget anything. That's, I think, the biggest part, the process. If you keep it as that and try to be positive, like try to remain in a good mindset, even when things don't go right, that's going to be the biggest thing, I think.
Awesome. So it sounds like just kind of declutter a little bit, organize and minimize,
simplify,
right? Just go. Yeah, simplify, exactly. Bang on. That's really good advice. It's really good for someone willing to hit the road, because I know as traders we think we need all this information, but really our decision making is based on probably 1/10 of the stuff that we usually read and watch. And I talk about that a lot in our trading room. Quick question for you. So when you got back from your trip, this is interesting to me because I went through the similar thing. When we got back to the trip, were you looking at the 5 monitors again the same way, or did you change your setup after?
No, I didn't change that much. That time I was still, well, I had the strategy that was really simple from the start for that first trip. But then when I came back, I saw like this monitor at home, which was like way too big for me. I was like, what is happening here? Like a big monitor. But no, it kind of helped to get back and be refocused on trading. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to answer. But yeah, you get to like the stuff you have at home. Although I knew it was like temporary, I would go back travel at some point. So you kind of don't get too attached to it, but you just like enjoy it when you're there.
Yeah, that's really good feedback. I'm a guy that doesn't have a lot of monitors. You can say I got 4 3/1 setup, and that's not a lot of monitors to begin with. But when I came home, the first thing I said to my fiance was, "Holy crap, there's a lot of monitors. Where do I look first?"
Yeah, it's all bright and all. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just a quick question for you. So somebody out there who's interested in starting into currency trading, or it's a market they're looking at as potentially including in their trading activities, what are some tips that you would give them that are trading currency specific? Like, what are the adjustments they need to make, or something that's very focused about currencies?
I don't know.
It's different.
Personally, for me, there's not much to currencies. It's kind of something that I've incorporated over time. So it's something that I'm used to it. I only think about currencies now. But I think like the biggest part is really going to be about the process. And I think for every market you're going to do, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. You always have to identify what the market is doing. Like that's the biggest part. Because you cannot just jump in the market with any strategies. That's going to be like something that you're going to fail with. So it's always identifying how things work. Yeah, exactly. Suicide. But identifying how things work. What is the market doing now? And can you trade with this? Or do you have to wait maybe? Because that happens a lot. I think I spend much more time and like really much more time waiting than like placing trades. That's for sure.
Awesome. So you're really focusing and stressing the point that I try to drive home as well, is just patience. Wait for the right opportunity, and not every opportunity is the same, right? Some of them are better, and you got to know which ones are better. The only way to know that is to see a lot of them. So be patient.
Oh yeah. And I hear so many times the idea of like trading daily, meaning like going in the market every single day, putting trades. But if you don't need to put trades, like if the market's not the right level, why would you want to place trades? It's like there's no reason for it. So I try to stress that a lot and make sure people don't place trades at the wrong place.
For sure. The market doesn't give a crap that you want to make money. It's going to throw you opportunities sometimes, and you got to wait for it, right?
Of course. Yeah.
That's awesome. What style of trading do you do? Because it sounds like it's probably a little bit more swing trading based.
Yeah, it's kind of swing trading, the way I call it, meaning it's kind of higher time frame, not too high where you're not involved at all almost, but not too low where you're like too involved. So I used to, and even when I'm at home, I do a lot of like multi time frame, meaning looking at some levels in the bigger time frame, trading those levels at lower time frame. But when you travel and you have only one monitor, it's kind of really hard to do. So the way I did it in my first trip is
that's why I have 3. Etienne. That's why you got to get 2 more, man. You made fun of it,
but it's more heavy. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's very heavy.
Yeah. So my first trip, I was trading basically the 4-hour chart, and I realized how tough it would be to like look at the chart every 4 hours. Like you don't think about it. It's kind of far. Like 4 hours, like it's not like you can still do a lot of stuff. But when you're like on a boat in the middle of the ocean at like 2 p.m. and it's time to check the chart, you kind of have a problem. So I used to like miss the chart a lot. I would miss some trade. I would like be frustrated a little bit because I missed trades and I was supposed to take those trades. So then now for this second trip, I'm looking only at the daily chart, which is like really, really low involvement. So I basically swing trade, look at the market every single morning, just to look at if I have some setup. If not, I just go ahead and that's done for the day.
Very interesting. So you're adjusting to this new approach from a guy that used to be more active, right? You probably did more day trading.
Yeah, I've done some day trading, although I told you before, like I've done some day trading when I was traveling and it didn't work out. Yeah. So like I think I day traded 2 weeks and then stopped when I was traveling because I would like waste all my mornings, then not have time to do anything in the afternoon. So it's kind of, I still want to travel. So I wanted to find a way to still enjoy the day, go out, do something in the day, but still like have a lot of fun at the same time.
Very cool. You're using the market as an opportunity to adjust it to your schedule, right? And
exactly. It's all about your schedule. It's not about like, I like to trade when the market's giving opportunities, but it has to be with your schedule, of course.
Absolutely. So it sounds like you got a trading and traveling strategy and the one when you're at home. Just curious, when you're actually on the road and looking at daily charts, how does that impact your risk management? How you work around that? Do you do a wider stop with less units to adjust, or what? How do you go about to compensate for that?
No, I didn't change that much my risk management for that purpose, but I've always like put my stop loss with a candlestick or with a certain level, and
Right.
like whatever stop loss I have, whatever number of pip, like amount of like points, whatever, it's always going to be a percentage of my account. So I don't care about like the width of the stop loss. It's always going to be like 1 or 2% of the account. So even
Right.
if it's a 100 pip stop loss, 200 pip, 200 pip, it's always going to be 2%. So I always adjust the position size based on the stop loss size.
Awesome. So you're using the percentage of the balance as your trade loss.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I think that's the biggest
Great.
part because like you could have so many ranges of stop loss, but they're all gonna like mess you up, and like you're gonna have big loss, small wins, whatever, and it's gonna be really tough to like keep growing consistently if you don't have a
Right.
percentage risk per trade.
And that's one of the things that I like about currency trading that's attractive to maybe a new trader who's considering currency trading. If they have a smaller account balance, you could still use 2% and do a really good sound risk management trade with a smaller account balance, so you can take a smaller position as well, right? So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, for sure. And
That's
I
really
think
good.
there's maybe like a thing that people won't get at this point is the fact that they have a small account, they want to make a lot of money, and hence they're gonna increase the position size to make sure that
Right.
even if they trade higher time frame, I guess they want to make a lot of money, so they're gonna increase their size to make a lot of money with a small account, which I think doesn't work that way, right? You cannot expect that you're gonna get bigger if you just risk more, because you could have
Yeah.
bigger drawdown as well. So it's just you have to be careful
Exactly.
with that.
I think you should increase your confidence before you increase your account and
Yeah,
position size.
yeah,
right?
definitely. That's a big key for sure.
That's where it's at. And I see that a lot with traders. They come in, they say, I want to make a lot of money. So they look at things that it's glamour or glorified in the media, like the Wolf of Wall Street. And they think
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
mentality is actually profitable. And, unfortunately, it's not. So I'm happy that you reinforced that point as well. I've been trying to drive
Yeah,
it home.
yeah.
Nice. So what are your plans with Desire to Trade? Maybe can you tell us a little bit about the business and what you do at DesireToTrade.com?
Yeah, so I try to help as much as I can, and that's kind of my contribution to the trading world. I've had like so much trouble and so much difficulty learning how to trade that I kind of wanted to share the lesson. And I have a podcast in which I share like pretty much everything. I've interviewed some great traders, including yourself, which I think is
Thank
good
you.
to help people get some advice and like move forward. There's always like, especially in trading, it's kind of hard to stay positive all the time and stay motivated to go forward. So I think if you can
Right.
get like around the traders as much as you can, you get all these ideas, this inspiration every single day. So that's my goal, to help people every single day.
Good stuff. Awesome. And yeah, guys, Etienne's got a great podcast, not just because I was featured on it. He's got a lot of different speakers as well. Mine's a great episode. I'm a little
Oh, for
sad I
sure.
didn't win
Yeah,
the
yeah, definitely.
episode of the year award, Etienne, but we'll have to talk about that later. But yeah, he's got a great podcast, really good resource. If you're considering trading currency, definitely give it a look. I know you have a one-pager that's like a strategy that you provide for free. I think that'd be very interesting for people to grab. Can you tell us a little bit more about it and how to get it?
Yeah, definitely. So the first, like, I've always heard pretty much since I started to trade that you had to have a trading plan. Like that's a crucial part of any trader's success. But for so
Right.
long, I kind of struggle with the idea that like it's not for me. Like the Wolf of Wall Street, as you said, didn't have a plan. The big
Yes.
traders bank, they don't like you just don't see their plan. So why would I have a
Right.
plan? And then one time I came across this like other trader who really helped me sit down and work on my plan. And I came up with like this 30-page trading plan that like was so big and like so hard. And it took me like really 30 days to do like 1 page per day or one activity per day. But at the end of the 30 days, I said like, well, so like, what should I do with this? There's like 30 page. Like, should I review it every day? It's like too big, I think. So I came up with like
Yeah.
this idea of having a 1 page trading plan. Because like what you do on a daily basis, it's not that complicated. Might be hard to do,
Exactly.
but it's not so complicated. So if you can like just simplify everything like we said on 1 page, it's gonna help you a lot to increase your clarity and make sure that you don't make mistakes. So I came up with like this 1 page trading plan, which is like a template people can use and just plug in the same like things they do on a daily basis to make sure they don't miss a step. And that they have this 1 page they can put on their wall in front of them, on the computer, whatever, to make sure they never skip a step and they always stay consistent with the same approach. So it's available on my
Awesome.
site. I'll give you a link after, and you can post the link below. People can check it out that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, grab that checklist because when you take the futures course, we provide a trading checklist as well. I always tell people it's not a step-by-step plan that'll make you a millionaire, but it's a way to get your thoughts organized and get you used to using planning for your trading, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what separates the professional traders that treat it like a business from the guys that go in and want to be the Wolf of Wall Street.
That's
and
huge.
No matter how much money and yachts you got, you see how those movies end. Broke.
Yeah.
Broke and looking from the outside in.
Yeah, definitely. And you know that, like, teaching to people, there's a big difference between the way you trade and the way, like, the other person's going to trade next to you. Because, like, I think all people have their approach. Even if they, like, follow your way, they're always going to tweak a little bit, modify a little bit to fit to their style, fit to how they like to trade. So having a template like this, like, allows you to modify everything you want. Make sure it's, like, your strategy, like, your plan. Like, not the guy next door's plan. It's, like, your plan.
Exactly.
You have, like, you put all the effort into it, and you know how to master that plan. So that's really powerful, I think.
That's awesome. And it's kind of like hunting, right? You go hunting with your friend, but you're the one pulling the trigger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's always different.
I can show you how to use the rifle, but you're not using my kill.
Yeah, exactly. It's always different. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome. Well, Etienne, thanks a bunch for giving us this feedback. Thanks for doing the interview. I think that checklist is a must grab for our listeners here at TradePro. So, guys, go ahead and have a look at it. Check out what they do. The podcast is great as well. I think my favorite episode is 66 of the Traders podcast.
I think that's yours, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Wow, what a coincidence.
Nice.
Just kidding. They're all good. But any last words, any tips you want to give our listeners, any parting words?
I don't know, like it's always about being patient, and the one quote that I love, I think that's going to resonate the most with your people, is the idea that you can always like work on yourself, you can always like be in the market, but the moment where you give up, where you say like it's not for me, or you like step away, like no one's going to remember you, no one's going to like see your progress, and you're never going to progress. So it's always about staying consistent, keeping the same action you do on a daily basis, and that's the only thing that gets result. It's not about the big moves, it's all about being consistent, putting in the work every single day to move forward, and that's always leading to results. It's always helped me move forward, and it's helping pretty much everyone move forward. Consistency.
That's beautiful. I want you to promise if you write a book, that's going to be the intro, because bang on. That's
cool.
Really good stuff. That's kind of there as well. All right, thanks, Etienne. Where are you headed next? What's your next leg of the journey?
I don't know, man. I had to buy a ticket when I came here in Bali, because like if you want to get in, you have to buy a return ticket. So I had to like book a ticket like last minute at the airport. I picked like Thailand out of the random. So it's going to be Thailand next place. Yeah.
Off to Thailand. Enjoy it. Maybe we'll do an interview there too.
Yeah, sure. It's going to be interesting. And guys, make sure you check out his interview on my channel. It's a great one. We've had some good advice. So it's going to be really powerful for you guys, of course.
Yeah, it was great dialogue. Thanks again for coming on the channel, Etienne, and sharing your insights. Guys, check out some of his work and the checklist. And thanks a bunch. You have a good, safe trip. And good luck with your trading. I hope you kill it out there.
I really appreciate it.
No worries.
Oh, hey, you guys made it to the end. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Etienne. He shared some tips with us on how to trade the currency markets, otherwise known as Forex, and more importantly, how to do it while you travel. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Click the link below to see Etienne's one-page trading strategy and have a checklist for yourself as you go along. Please comment below, let me know if you like the interview, let us know who you'd like us to interview next or what you'd like to learn, and most importantly, answer this for me. If you could travel and trade, where would be your next destination? I hope to see you guys in our next video. Take care and have a great day. Now let me get in here and trade this Asian session and hopefully make some money. Take care and goodbye.